tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys become amazing. That's not fun. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Paul. They call me Flower Boy sometimes. You guys look amazing. A round of applause for yourselves. Thank you. So, we all know why we're here tonight. We're sorry that we started off a bit late. We're trying to wait for everybody and make sure that you get maximum entertainment. So tonight, we're very sure that you're going to get the best. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dream Empire Music, and this is where we're all in this listening party tonight. And you already know why we're here. We're here for Sensei Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, show them your truth now. This is so
Thank you. Now that we talked about this that night, if you remember, we talked about this collabing in some way, shape, or form. And so the fact that we're actually here and people actually pulled up, you guys didn't have to, so I don't take that lightly at all. There's a lot of new faces that I'm meeting tonight, and I thoroughly, deeply appreciate you guys for even being here, honestly. So we're here for a date with Sensei. So like my brother said, J. Paul, coming from the Big Brother house, you know, it was a tough experience, man. I don't think a lot of people can really understand what goes on. You know, it was just a crazy experience in the Big Brother house. So coming out, actually doing what we said we would do, doing what we're passionate about, having that platform give us an opportunity to do what we actually love to do. I'm grateful for that, man. I don't take it lightly at all. So coming out of the house, of course, I'm an artist. I make music, I produce, songwriter, sound engineer. So the first thing on my mind was to put out a new body of work for sure. So after the house, I had a lot of supporters just telling me, asking me, where's the next music coming out? And I didn't realize the demand was that high. I honestly didn't even think I had fans. I thought I was just going to the house, come out, and then figure it out. You know what I mean? Start from scratch and grind. I came out to a whole bunch of supporters, man. It's mind-blowing, honestly, it's heartwarming, and I really appreciate every single one of them. So I put out a single, Do You Get? It was crazy, man. I don't know if it was just the hype or the hype mixed with the vibes, mixed with the urge to record it again, but the song came together very nicely. I have a longtime friend, my brother from another mother in the building, actually, Tony Ores. Please give a round of applause to Tony Ores. And I'll explain why in a minute. Big shout out to my brother in the building, man. So me and Tony, we go way back in California. We went to school, went to university together. And he's a Nigerian boy too, you know. So we made this decision to eventually move back home, move back to Nigeria. And he's a producer I've been working with. We clicked immediately, man, in California University. And it turns out he makes music as well. He produces, he's a songwriter, he's a singer, he's a sound engineer. So he's really dedicated to his craft. He produced the majority of the songs on A Date with Sensei. He did track 1, Bossy, track 2, Sunset and Lecky, as well as track 5, Stop Playing With Me. He's a bad boy, man. He's a bad boy, bad boy. So I'm really honored and grateful that we're actually living what we used to talk about, bro. You don't think, man, it's been a minute, you feel me? We've been talking about these moments, so it's actually living in the flesh, bro. God's sustaining our lives. We're healthy, we're here, we're coherent, we can understand, we can comprehend, we can actually share this moment. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that, man. One love, bro. So, without further ado, man, once again, thank you for everybody that's here in the flesh. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in all across the world. I really appreciate you guys. It's mine that you guys are actually even to something like this, man. Honestly, thank you very much. So, appreciate you, man, bro. So without further ado, man, let's get into track 1. So track 1 is called Bossy. And a bunch of these songs, everything was one take. Cause I had an urge, man, coming out the house, I wanted to record so bad. So every beat that Oris pulled up, it was just one take. It just made sense, and we recorded, and it came out nice. So my guy Chibi just run track 1 called Bossy.
You guys stop. I mean, start running checks for the people.
No, that was the inspiration, man. So the inspiration, I wanted to do some type of shout out to Big Brother, you understand? But I don't want it to be
direct,
forced or direct. You understand what I'm saying? I still wanted to keep that sauce. I still wanted to keep that light feeling. Something you could bounce to, but still kind of, understand. Oh, yeah. And who else? Come on, man. Tell everybody, that's the boss. You understand? Bossy, big shout out to Big Badge. You understand? So it's something for like CC. Is it a lie? That's the homie. That's the homie. So it was an ode to my predecessors. You understand? So it came together nicely, man. It's a sweet song. So it's for all the bossy, all the boss chicks and fine girls. Boss chicks. That song is for the boss chicks and fine girls, man. So that was the inspiration behind it.
Okay, so what's your style? How would you describe your style?
I love this question. So a few days ago in Abuja, I think I came up with the perfect answer that completely explains my style. So I'm melodic based. I can split genres. You understand? I can do hip hop, R&B, Afrobeat, and the rest. But I think what I do the most, what I bring to every genre is melodies. You understand? I like to stretch sounds and manipulate it. So it dawned on me, so I'm like, I compare my sound to the water. So I said, you know what I said? I think it was cool, man. I think I'm gonna start using it every time it was sick. I said, the Sensei Michael sound is the sound of waterfalls. If you really think about it, so you can put the sound of waterfalls to any sound. You could be cooking, you could be driving. You put the sound of waterfalls behind it, I guarantee you it makes sense.
That makes sense because in the Big Brother house, every time rain falls, Michael was always going to the garden. And he sits down in the garden and just listening to the rain. Every time I ask him, why do you do this? Why exactly?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm drawn to that sound. In all honesty, I don't know what it is. It's therapeutic, it's calming, and it's almost like mathematics. When you think about it, you get it's almost like counting things somehow. TV, you understand as an engineer, it's like your brain is just welcoming that sound. So I hold it out, man. I go to that sound, you know what I mean?
Let's talk about your next song.
Yes. So the next song, at this moment in time, is my favorite song. It's bound to change. Like the EP is I love it. I really love it. But right now, this is my favorite song. It's called Sensei Michael. So the idea behind the song, behind the name of the song, is me and Tony Ores. We were recording in this nice view, man. We were Lekki. It was soft vibes, and we started the beat from scratch. And immediately he did like the first 4 or 8 bars. I was like, alright, I'm ready to record. I knew exactly what to say because of the vibes that we were looking at, man. It was a beautiful sunset in Lekki that evening. And I was thinking about a special someone before me, and it inspired the execution of the song. Right? So without further ado, you dig me? Trying to sunset Lekki.
What I can do that street for
Somebody, someone who could change your life.
in-depth musicians.
So, you know what I mean? And it's an honor to be in that position, man, honestly. And I'm just here to express my heart. Express originality, express creativity, and just express versatility. You understand? We don't always have to do the same thing. In any genre, it could be film, in this case, music. We can explore ourselves, man. We've been given the gift of voice. You know, and Big Brother gave us, like, he amplified our voices, you understand? So we're dealing with a message, we're dealing with vocal delivery. So I'm a true believer in experimentation. Like, you might as well, if you have a good voice, if you have a voice you believe in, not even a good voice, if you have a voice you believe in, you might as well experiment with it. So what you can expect coming forward after the big Sensei is more experimentation, more creativity, more effort, more contribution to seeing how far I can take my own creative expressions, and that will determine how far I can go, you understand, career-wise. So just look forward to a lot of new music, a lot of new experimentation, a lot more melodies, and a lot more good vibes, man, you know what I mean?
So this next track is called Fingerprint.
Yes, Fefe, yes.
What's it about?
Fefe is for the OGs, man. Fefe is for the OGs, Big Ray in the building. Yeah, Fefe is like a high life type of feel to it, you know. My father, he introduced me to music, and it was through things like hi-fi, genres like high life, you know, heavy guitar, I call it like a sad guitar almost. It almost sounds dry and in the distance, but it's that tone, man. That tone does something to the brain, it does something to your body, and it's very Afrocentric, you understand? So I introduced that element into this EP on track 3 called Fefe. So Fefe, it means good. It's like a slang for, I don't remember the name of the language, but it's in Ghana. They speak it in Ghana. And Fefe means, like good. It's like a good thing.
And it's produced by you?
Yes, it's produced by me. Yes. So I actually did this before the house. I did this right before the house. I made sure I finalized it before we went through the lockdown phase. And it was one of those songs that I made after I moved back from the States. In my mom's house in Abuja, I had time on my hands and I had my equipment with me, so I started experimenting with some sounds. And I think coming back to Nigeria, I don't know, man, something happened, because when it was time to make a beat, this happened, and it's very, like deep. Your mama boots somewhere, with the plastic chairs and the Gouda and all that, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get it, Fefe.
Dropped out of school, you can check the news. Got on my rhymes, I'm in my
also just makes sense to me, man. And that outro, I love that outro.
It's like you're eating amala.
I swear, I was very relaxed. When I was recording that song, I was very relaxed. I think you can hear it. Everything was one take. I just left it as it is, man. It was all vibes. And I think,
I had a conversation with you while you were making this.
Yes.
You had a conscious effort as to why you didn't want to have any features.
Yes.
On this EP. You want to explain?
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to come out of the house. So the thing about housemates, yeah, one thing I've noticed, even before being on the show, I didn't really watch the show at all. I just kept up with, starting from Pepe Dem to Lockdown, more so Lockdown than Pepe Dem, but I was keeping up online. And I noticed the priority for every housemate is to, the way I see it, man, you gotta leave the game before the game leaves you, you understand what I'm saying? So if you're coming out of Big Brother, yeah, with all due respect, you understand, and all gratitude, there's a certain type of mission that you have to be on as an ex-housemate to like redefine yourself in a certain way or reintroduce yourself as something beyond just an ex-housemate, you understand? And that was one thing that was a priority on my mind. So I've been an artist since about 2010. I've been taking it very serious. Technically my whole life, because my father was a musician as well, but I started taking it serious, you could say, and recording original songs from like 2010. So coming out of the house was the same mission. The house pretty much amplified my approach, you understand? So coming out of the house, I knew it was a priority to show people that, okay, what is it that you do? You understand? Because I know everyone's going to look at me and ask that question immediately or inevitably, like, what is it that you do? Like, we saw you in the house, but what's next? Like, what is it that you actually do? And that was the whole point of this EP. So I didn't want any features on it because I want to have a body of work, especially my first body of work coming out of the house, to be completely me and in as much ways that I possibly can execute. So that was the reason why I didn't do any features. I could have had a feature, I could have had crazy features actually, but I guess I say it now, that's still coming. You know, deluxe, remix, you understand? Those are still coming, but for the original first, output, I wanted it to be as much Sensei Michael as possible, so people can have something to reference when they want to know what I do, you understand?
Alright, so the next track is also called This Ride, and it's produced by you as well.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that one as well. So I made Fefe on This Ride, amongst other songs that may be coming out very soon. Consecutively, I make those songs consecutively. I got on a wave, creatively speaking, if you're an artist, if you're a painter, fashion, music, film, there's a creative flow that you get into and you start, just pumping out content, good stuff too, like good designs, good songs, good scripts, good ideas, and this song was part of that role. Fefe came and then This Ride came shortly. I was just feeling good, man. I don't know what it was. I honestly can't even tell you, but that whole week I was just feeling good and I was feeling productive. I started, making beats, recording, making those beats into songs. And Fefe came along, This Ride came along, and this is one of the sweetest songs on the project, man. When all the dust clears, I think this song is just gonna poke his head out like, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get it, This Ride.
Take me far, take me higher and higher until I
it gets sweeter and then the end.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you make your songs that?
I don't know, man. I think it's subconscious. I think as I'm recording, I just feel better and better and better and better until it's time to end the song. You understand? You understand? It's just vibes, man. It's all vibes. And that's one of my favorite songs on the project for sure, man. It's sweet. It's sweet.
Now you have too many favorite songs now.
I swear. I told you it changes every day, man. Every moment it changes.
I mean, before the last song, which is my favorite song, there's a song of Afrobeat on the international stage, right?
Yes.
You're coming from the international stage,
yes,
and coming back here to Nigeria, and you see the surge out there. What's your plan to be part of that bandwagon of the surge of Afrobeat?
Fantastic question, man. Afrobeat to the world. You know that. You're on ground zero, man. You're on ground level, bro. Afrobeat to the world. It's no hype. So you know, once upon a time there was no hip hop. It was disco. Remember, like funk, and then disco, and then here comes hip hop, and it's like, oh, what's this? Okay, it's just gonna be here for now. Now look, hip hop is like a legit genre with rock and jazz and blues. Afrobeat is the same thing, man. Afrobeat is gone, like it's literally gone. I saw a video the other day, maybe 2 days ago, of somewhere in Asia, I think Korea or China. They were doing Afrobeat. I saw that. They were making Afrobeats, man. It's gone. So I think my contribution to that is to be the best that I can be, to be as original as I can be as well. That's the X factor. To be the best I can be is my responsibility to be as original as possible. Influence is inevitable. We hear what we like and we're influenced by it, be it consciously or subconsciously. That one big. But it's a responsibility for the artist to consciously remain creative. We can be influenced, but if we're gonna take something, let's remix it. Let's not just take it and then dish it out again, you understand? Let's take it, let's digest it, internalize it, flip it, and then dish it out so we can keep it going, you understand? So that's my plans for music, like African music in general, you know what I mean?
Okay, so this next song is titled Stop Playing With Me.
Yeah.
And this is, you guys know that, right? You're very famous with this. You want to explain the phrase and how it happened?
Yeah, I mean, we talk like that where I grew up, we talk like that, it was normal. So I'm just on the show, I'm just being myself, man, and that's how we talk, but I didn't know it wasn't a thing. I honestly didn't know what was going on. I was, in the house. We were just being ourselves, and I came out the house, and everywhere I went, people were just like, stop playing with me, stop playing with me. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized it was a thing, so yeah, it's dope, man, it's fresh. It's just how we talk, me and my guys. Tony can tell you, you know what I mean? Like in Cali days, it's just how we talk. It's like the equivalent to no they want me. You know, someone say, no they want me now, you want me. It's the same thing, it's like, stop playing with me, you playing with me, you understand? It's pretty much the same thing, just different flavors, you understand? So it's cool, man. Yankee vibes. Yes. Yeah, man. This song's fun. I love this song.
Listen, every time I step in the kitchen, I put no big deal. Back with bees and trees, you know I won't.
thank you, man. God, that one hit my chest, y'all, I swear. I appreciate you guys being here, man. That song, I won't even lie, that day I did vex in the studio, I did vex. I never chop. I don't even vex, I just don't know why. We just go with the flow, we just vex. You get it? What the chop was?
They didn't prepare us.
No. I think I know what it was.
What was it? Was it heartbreak vex or nobody vex?
No, people were playing with me. Some people were playing with me. I said, stop playing with me. Like, I actually do this, you understand? So that studio session, it was mad lit, man. That was also one take. We're just going, we all rest. You understand? So it came out fantastic, man. That studio session with this was productive. So that wraps up a day with Sensei. That's all 5 tracks. That's thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, questions for Sensei Michael.
Sure. Questions of any?
Okay, question. So how do you, like, I mean, I can't even imagine how inside your head is, because like, how do you find the balance, like, being raised like almost fully American, and that isn't like your natural sound, you get? So like, how do you like find a balance? Like, where do you go to in your head to where this stuff that seems like it's coming like almost natural to you, even you might not necessarily believe it, like, you get, how do you find your way back to Afrobeats, like in your mind?
That's an awesome question. That I'll give that credit to my father, because my dad, yeah, he used to make music, and he was one of those people that they made music in their youth. He grew up in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? He became a teenager, late 70s, the 80s was his 20s. So he was one of those expressive youths that eventually had to now become an engineer or a doctor, or you know something. So he pretty much he went from a creative of music to a connoisseur of music. So his palette was vast. He had Kenny Rogers, he had Jimmy Cliff, he had Earl Cool, he had Dolly Parton, he had Fela, he had Bob Marley, he had Michael Jackson. So you could understand, you know, what type of melodies were entering my psyche, man. It was just all over the place. And it was perfect for me, because at the end of the day, I was listening to all those things, all those artists, but I was also listening to Shidodo, Oliver the Cook. You understand? So as a kid, subconsciously, the African rhythm was always ringing in me. So I left Nigeria. I was born and raised in Lagos, and I came up in Ichigun and Satellite Town before I moved to the US at 12, 5 days after turning 12 actually. So I pretty much got the best of both worlds. So I got my foundation in Lagos, Las Gidi, and then when I moved, I became an adult in California, you understand? So I became sort of like a hybrid. So I had my foot in Africa and America like firmly. Everything is just natural. When I come to Africa, I can fit right in. Family, infrastructure, everything. Same thing in America, family, infrastructure, everything. So I really appreciate my parents for having that foresight for sure. But as far as maintaining my like African integrity, as far as creativity goes, I'll just give that to my dad, because I think it was just embedded in me. Because as a kid in the cradle, I was listening to Shidodo, Everybody Cool. You can't imagine the kind of impression that was leaving on me. So regardless of how far I went, I took Africa with me, you understand? I didn't have to come back, because it was always with me, you understand? Cheers.
When you knew that both like that,
Shidodo, man. That's the guy, legend. Yeah, man.
Okay, so my question, if you're actually going to work on visuals for any of the songs, which of your songs do you think you're comfortable with working on visuals with?
Well, I have plans for all of them. I want the visuals. I'm big on visuals, man. I love visuals. I don't know which one I love more, music, sound, or visuals. It's close. It's close. So definitely I have plans for visuals for all 5. But as far as the order, right now the priority is Sensei Michael, track 2. You understand? So you could expect the visual for that one very soon. Keep our faith up. You understand? But things will happen, there'll be a visual for every song, all 5 records. You understand?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, most definitely.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know, what's your creative process like? Do you listen to the beat and vibe, or you have this melodies and you go to the studio and work on it?
So everything, fantastic question too. That's a key question to envelop. So I don't pre-plan anything. I like to go to the studio with clear head. I don't even like to listen to beats before I go to the studio. I don't even like to listen to pre-done, like beats that are already done most of the time. I can still record to, pre-made beats. There's not a problem. But in the context of recording for an EP, I wanted everything to just be fresh and spontaneous. So the creative process with Tony Morris, he will pretty much start the beat. And with every producer in the building, you know what I'm talking about. You start with like the first 4 bars, or maybe you do 8 bars, and you just go on the loop and build that loop. Once the 4 bars happens, or the 8 bars happens, I already know what to say. Like, I know exactly what I want to say. So without further ado, I just go straight to it. Last we loop the beat. Let me just lay down what's, coming to me, and then we can restructure the beat around the vocals, you understand? So that's usually my creative process for a project. When I'm working on a project, I do everything spontaneous, everything from scratch, original, no pre-plan, no anything like that. But if I'm just having fun, if I'm just coming to the studio, it can easily just be, load a beat, and then if the inspiration is there, you vibe. Yes, sir.
Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? All right.
Thank you guys so much. Guys, man. Seriously, it means a lot to me, man. With all honesty, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. I see some familiar faces that I love so much. You understand? But I also see some new faces that I'm hoping to see more consistently. Honestly, because you guys are awesome. Good energy, good vibes, beautiful people. So you're just so accommodating. You don't have to be, you literally don't have to be, but you're here, and I appreciate that. It doesn't go over my head at all. So thank you very much to everyone that's here. Thank you so much. So let's party, man. Let's party.
Woo! Please play first party.
Drop on school, we check the news. I got all my rhymes,
Much love, much love. Big shout out to my Alcantara. Big shout out to my Alcantara, man. Big shout out to JB, you feel me? Shout out. Yeah. Happy birthday, Jemima, man. Big happy birthday to Jemima. You understand? I hope your day was wonderful. I hope your night was awesome. Big shout out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Much love.